Let's take a brief look at the Butcher's Western Pack. This was the 9th paid weapon pack released for Payday 2, and aims to bring weapons from the Wild West back into style. Let's stroll into it. Stepping up first is the Repeater 1874 sniper rifle, based on the Winchester 1873. This weapon operates a bit differently from any other sniper rifle in the game. Boasting 15 loaded shells is already pretty nice. However, on top of that, this rifle is individually loaded, not mag loaded, meaning similar to a shotgun, reloads can be interrupted by firing, so in theory you should never get caught with your pants down, for a lack of a better term. This does come with the downside of a reload from empty being rather lengthy, so full loads are better saved for when the assault dies down. Other stats such as the fire rate and ammo pickup rate are excellent for sure, however this weapon's damage is what's holding it back. Not to say that lower damage weapons are entirely useless, especially considering damage increasing skills exist. However, other snipers do the same thing better. The Contractor 308 from the John Wick heists, for instance, has better mag capacity and is more concealable, allowing for the use of crits. Purely from a balance perspective, this weapon is outclassed. However, sometimes it's the little things that matter, such as the excellent iron sights and, in my opinion, wonderful little scope. All in all, while the Repeater may not be one of the best weapons in the game, it's competent, completely usable, and offers a different style of sniper from the standard fare. And now for something completely different, the Plainsrider bow. That's right, an old school bow and arrow, perfect for robbing a maximum security bank or two. Despite first impressions, this weapon is not completely useless. Allow me to explain. From a practicality standpoint, having a gun that shoots bullets is far and away superior to a bow, due to bullets traveling instantly and not having drop-off, as opposed to the comparatively slow and heavy arrows. However, consider that your quiver can carry 50 arrows base, which by the way can also be picked back up off the ground or yanked out of the corpses of your enemies. On top of this, the bow's concealment is surprisingly high despite not being foldable or compact in the slightest. And finally, the arrows themselves deal 1000 damage. That's enough to one-shot kill most enemies even on the highest of difficulties. If your aim isn't precise, you can swap out the boring pointed arrows for explosive arrows at the cost of a good amount of damage. These shots will detonate on impact and can score critical hits when used with low blow. There are also poison arrows which deal damage over time after striking a target. However, this comes at the cost of 90% of the initial hit damage, which in my eyes does not seem like a worthwhile trade-off. The downsides come in when you consider that aiming the bow takes a lot of getting used to, the draw time of the arrow makes quick shots nigh impossible, and most importantly, being in close to every sense outclassed by the light crossbow from the Gauge Chivalry pack. While the damage and concealment are a tad bit lower, there's still more than enough to suffice in dodge builds on high difficulties, while firing faster and aiming easier. With everything said, the Plainsrider bow is surprisingly not total garbage. However, similar to the Repeater, it is severely outclassed. For the third weapon in this saga, we're going back to the future, relatively speaking. It's the gun that won the West, the Peacemaker 45, based on the famous Colt 45.
If you're quick on the draw, this beauty can send outlaws packing faster than a horse spooked.
I think that was Western. This weapon's damage is intense, and it has good concealment alongside an above average fire rate. Obviously, one cannot use a suppressor on this gun, so it's strictly for loud encounters only. Similar to the Bronco, this revolver has 6 shots and cannot be expanded upon. However, unlike the Bronco, the Peacemaker loads individually rather than all at once. In theory, this shouldn't be an issue, as the longer reload time would be offset by being cancelable, but in practice, Wow, that is painfully slow. Even with points invested in Ace Gunslinger, it's still obnoxious. This combined with a lack of customization brings my verdict on the Peacemaker to be not bad, but outclassed by other weapons. You may have noticed, that's pretty much been my opinion of every weapon in this pack. This is due to a variety of reasons I've already explained, but the big one I haven't touched on yet. None of these weapons can use gadgets or standard issue sights. This isn't a surprise for the Plainsrider, obviously, but it's fairly disappointing for the firearms. Let's move on to the throwables, sticks of Dynamite. These puppies are near identical to frag grenades with one critical exception. Dynamite cannot be shot out of the air like normal grenades can. This means you can toss the sticks into a swarm of cops without a risk of premature detonation. While this doesn't make any sense in real life, not a whole lot in Payday does, so I'm not gonna question it. If you need a bare bones explosive with no strings attached, there's no better throwable to play the role. As for melee, we've got ourselves the Your Mine Brander, the Scalper Tomahawk, the Arkansas Toothpick, and the Gold Rush Pickaxe. Two of these weapons stand out among the rest. The toothpick works really well as a swift dodge melee weapon, and the pickaxe offers higher end damage for armor players. Finally, we have 4 masks: the Apache Mystic, the Desert Skull, the Lone Heister, and the Wild West Classic. These masks are fantastic and fit the theming perfectly. I'm especially a fan of the Wild West Classic considering how well it takes to customization. And that's about it. So, would I recommend the Butcher's Western Pack? Well, it depends on what you're after. If you want practical weapons for higher difficulties, then no. The only addition of interest to you in this pack would be the Dynamite, which isn't nearly enough to make the entire pack worth it. However, if you're looking for fun weapons, then this could very well be of interest to you. The Repeater and Peacemaker are both entertaining weapons, especially when used together. As for the Plainsrider bow, it's a nice addition, but shouldn't be the feature of focus. If you're looking for a pack featuring both fun and practical weapons, I'd highly recommend checking out the Butcher's Barbecue Pack. However, if you are really dead set on knocking some arrows, the Gauge Chivalry Pack will be more to your liking. Thanks for watching, and take it easy.